Half the dialogues even Sri Ram missed yesterday.
Sri Ram ate.
Missed some dialogues.
But he spoke well.
Yeah.
He speaks like you.
Everybody were saying he's trying to imitate you.
Yeah.
He doesn't try to imitate you. He feels that he is rich and he's talking so proud. That's all it is. I have seen him, he doesn't imitate or something.
Yeah.
It's something different.
Yes.
It's like embodiment of Guruji.
Yes. That's how it should be. Okay, shall we start?
Yeah.
You put in the group or this thing. Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Padam Shankaram Lokashankaram. Yesterday we heard the story of the Brahmana called Gargya and the king called Ajatashatru. The Brahmana or Brahmin called Gargya tried to convince king called Ajatashatru that he is a Brahmadnani or knower of Brahman. We have distinguished two aspects of Brahmana. One who knows Veda mantras and is able to perform rituals and puja is Brahmana by profession. Okay. Somebody who has realized Brahman is Brahmana by wisdom, Brahmadnani. These names are interchangeably used, okay, but we should not mix up the profession with the wisdom. Brahmadnana by wisdom, anybody can become, provided they are mature enough. The king Ajatashatru by profession was a king, but by wisdom he is a Brahmadnani, a realized Brahman. So he is a Brahmana. Okay. And there was another king called Janaka who was by profession king, Kshatriya. But by wisdom, he is Brahmadnani. Anybody by wisdom can become a Brahmana or Brahmadnani. It doesn't require a caste creed. Okay. It requires a sincere search for truth. That's why we have many people who are realized as a Brahman. Kabir Das is considered as a Muslim, but he is enlightened one, wise one. Kanakadas, who is a shepherd, but he is still wise one. He is the wise one. That wise one is called Brahmana. So people get confused with the two terminologies interchangeably used: a profession and wisdom. Okay. So Brahmana by profession is called Brahmana because he is able to chant mantras related to Brahman, the supreme reality. All mantras are the praise of the supreme Brahman. That's why it's called Brahmana by profession. Whereas a person who has realized Brahman, okay, he is not chanting the mantras. He has recognized Brahman as the self, Atma. That's why he is Brahmana. So when people use these words, they use confusingly. They don't know what means what. Okay. A Brahmana, a Brahmadnani is a wise one who has realized Brahman. He is respected by all because he has become a universal being. Okay. So Kshatriya, Ajatashatru, now starts teaching this Gargya, because Gargya requests him, now you please teach. I don't know Brahman. Ajatashatru starts teaching. He takes him to a person who is sleeping near the palace and calls the person's name and tries to wake him up. Okay. That person doesn't wake up. Then he pushes him, touches him, and then he wakes up. Then Ajatashatru asks that man who was sleeping, where did you go? Is the question. Where did you go? It's a very strange question because he's sleeping here only. Right? See, if you have gone to some other city and came back, the question is, where did you go? Is relevant. But Ajatashatru himself has seen this person sleeping. Then he is asking the question, where did you go? A very strange question. Right? Normal question which will ask you, did you sleep well? Is a question. But he is asking, where did you go? Okay. So did he go somewhere? Is the question. Then he asked Gargya, where did he go? Okay. In deep sleep, where all of us go. Where all of us go in deep sleep. In deep sleep, we go back to our true nature called pure awareness or Brahman. Always we go back to our true nature or called pure awareness, Brahman. Okay. In deep sleep, we experience bliss. Okay. And the bliss is because there's no other object there. There's no body, there's no mind, there's no intellect. The bliss of the self is experienced in deep sleep because you go back to Brahman, your true nature. But you go back without knowing without knowing. The knowledge is not there. Okay. The wisdom is not there. So we go in ignorance. But the bliss experience in deep sleep is non-dual. There is no other. If you drink a cup of coffee and say, I am very happy, so you can give excuse that coffee gave me happiness. There's an object to give happiness. There's an object to give happiness. Okay. And that object, you say, oh, I got happiness because of coffee. But in deep sleep, you were very blissful. There's no object. So then only thing you can say is, I was blissful because of my own nature. Right? So thus, the deep sleep is an indicator of your own nature. What is that? Bliss is my nature. It's an indication of your own nature. Bliss is my essential nature. Right? Then I am blissful without any object. There's no object required for me to be blissful. Right? It's objectless awareness. Object is not there. I am blissful without any object. Is it clear? So because I am blissful without an object, bliss is my nature. Why I am searching for happiness in the world? Why is there search for happiness in the world when happiness is my nature? I am blissful without any objects in the world. That being so, why I am looking for happiness in the world? There is no happiness in the possible at all in the objects of the world. Is that experience? Is that your experience?
In deep sleep, it's not dual. So who is experiencing the bliss?
Yeah, that experience is the self experiencing itself. There's no experiencer and experienced. There's no subject-object experience. Okay. In deep sleep, who experiences the bliss? It's a experience where there is experiencer and experienced. The duality is not there. Okay. So that's called pure experience. And the pure experience of self experiencing itself all the time, every time, is called aparoksha anubhuti. Nitya aparoksha. The self experiences itself all the time. Okay. Only thing is in waking state, it's getting covered with so many other things, noise.
So when I wake up from deep sleep, again I get covered by everything.
Yeah.
So how am I able to recollect?
Right. So your nature is bliss. That nature is not changed in the waking state also, in the dream state also, deep sleep. It's like a screen, background screen. All the time it's there. But only thing is there are pictures projected on the screen. The picture of the world and body is projected on the screen when you wake up. So that's covering the screen, but the screen itself has not changed. The nature of the self and the bliss of self, what is called Brahmanubhuti or Brahmananda, never changes. And it is your direct experience all the time. How is it direct experience? Whenever you speak of I, okay, I came from Hyderabad, I am going to Madurai, so that I never changes. All your actions are based on that unchanging I. It's not a thought. I'm saying what is pointed by unchanging I, awareness. But always in the waking state, you confuse your body with the I or mind with the I. So what you are doing, you are ignoring your ever-present experience with the temporary experiences, mixing up. Okay. So Brahman need not be realized. Because Brahman, you know, all the time. I, you refer, when you refer I, you are referring Brahman only. Only thing you have to learn is you have to remove what is not I from that. Okay. You have to understand what is not I to understand what is Brahman. Oh, I am Brahman. It's not that I am Brahman has to be realized. Because that Brahman, I am Brahman, is always in the present in the background of your mind. Whenever you are referring I, pure I. Right? Your I has not changed in your life. You look at that. Okay. But always you are mixing up with your temporary experience with that I. It's called Nitya, Anitya, eternal and temporary. Mixing up is happening. So only thing which you are learning in Brahmadnana or self-realization is to remove what is, you filter out what is not I. Okay. What is I is always there. It is like digging a well for water. You don't create water. Water is already there, but it's covered with sand. So you are removing the sand, keep removing the sand, then what remains is water. So remove always, you understand, try to ignore what is not I. Okay, then I always is there. It's already ever sharing. It's there in background of all your experiences. It's not that Brahman Buddhi or Brahma, the bliss of Brahman, somebody self-realized person got it. No, he didn't get it. He only recognized it. Okay. Whereas we are missing it. Even though every moment when I speak of I am remembering my Brahman nature. Please understand. Every moment when I speak of I, the word called I am referring to the supreme reality, Brahman. Next moment, mind comes up and says, "Oh, I am body." Mixing up is happening. So in Atmadnani case, he is only very clear what is temporary and what is permanent. Let us say if you talk to a sage Ramana Maharshi, okay, right? Ramana Maharshi, Bhagavan, did he eat food? Okay. Bhagavan says, yes, I ate food. Now, what I is referring to? Which I is referring to? He is referring to the body as eating food. It's a temporary I. Okay? Understand? And then Bhagavan says, find out who am I? Okay? I am blissful self. Now, which I is referring to? The unchanging I. In case of Gnani, he is able to deal with the changing I and unchanging I depending on the situation. Understand? And when he is dealing also, he is not mixing up them too. Right? He is not mixing up the changing I and unchanging I. When he says I ate food, he knows the body has taken food. The I doesn't eat anything. When he says I am walking, he knows the body is walking. Okay, I doesn't walk. I doesn't change. It's infinite, consciousness. He is very well aware. In his words, he communicates like a common man. But in his understanding, there is a difference. He is ever established in pure I, because he will never get confused. That's all. Ever established is no confusion. That's all. Through discrimination, viveka and vairagya. Okay. Whereas a person who is not realized, if you ask him, did he eat food? Yes, I ate food. Then if you say asangoham, it means I am pure. Means how I can pure? I'm impure. I've done so many sins in my life. So he is not able to distinguish that unchanging I with changing I. So Atma-dnana means ever, never mix up the changing and unchanging. Even though when you talk for the local communication purpose, you talk like a common man, but in your understanding, you are very clear, I am that unchanging reality. That's all. And this is the difference between the Gnani and the Adnani. We think something else has happened. No. Yes. Viveka and Vairagya's discrimination has become so sharp that he will never mix up these two. Even though for communication purpose, he uses the right words. So communication purpose, if he eats the food and he says, Bhagavan, did you eat food? Ramana Maharshi says, no, I never eat food. He never says like that. He doesn't confuse people with the transactional level. But transactional level also, he is very clear and established, real I is Brahman. Right? Now the question is, what happened to this I in deep sleep? That's what we'll find out. Are you clear?
But by default, there is we are comparing deep sleep state with the normal waking up state. So in deep sleep, we are realizing that we are our nature is pure bliss.
Yes.
So the reason why we are able to realize is because we don't have a mind, neither there is a body nor a distraction nor anything around. Maybe even our senses are closed. Our eyes are closed, ears are closed, everything is
everything
closed.
shut down. Huh?
So in that zero state, we are going to the default state.
Correct.
But zero state is, we are comparing a waking up state with the zero state. Why should we compare these two?
No. We are actually, this is what the discussion is, right? I'll tell you. As I proceed, you'll understand. Okay. So it only means that the bliss is your nature. It is fully experienced. It's experienced in deep sleep. Okay. My nature is bliss is experienced in deep sleep. In the waking state, in dream state, is not experienced because it's mixed up with something else. Right? So then, is bliss, is deep sleep realization, state of realization? Then all that we have to do is take some sleeping tablets and have blissful sleep all the time. Okay? Keep sleeping, then you will realize, no, it is not like that. Okay? So there's no wisdom in that. Blissful sleep is only a pointer or indication to enlightened state. It is not enlightened state. What is it pointing out is your non-dual nature. There's no other, and I am blissful is pointing out. Okay, there's no realization there, but that is the closest thing we can know to you point out. We have to tell you something with what you know. Others, non-dual means you'll start getting confused. What is this non-dual? You can't understand. So the bliss of the sleep is an indicator of your non-dual state. Is this much clear? So now the question comes, the bliss of the sleep is my non-dual realization. But what happens in the waking state, what happens in the dream state, and how it's related to deep sleep state? In deep sleep state, the consciousness goes back to its original state. Your consciousness is in the original state, Brahman or Kutastha. It is going back to deep sleep. So actually, in many of our traditions, my mother used to say, don't cross a sleeping person. Okay, don't walk over a sleeping person. right? So she doesn't know. It's unconsciously saying. So in ancient people, the mind, the sleeping person has gone to Brahman. Don't cross him, because then you are crossing over Brahman. It's a way of education unconsciously, because they don't know what is the understanding behind that. The consciousness has gone back to Brahman. How does it go back, and what comes up in the waking state is we'll find out. Okay. In the waking state, the name and form, the world is projected. The projection is nothing but Brahman. The projection is nothing but Brahman. The world which you see with our open eyes is Brahman, appearing as the world. Appearance is not real. Okay, what is behind the appearance is real. We should be able, like a child who will recognize the mother in whatever dress she comes. She comes in a sari, child knows his mother. She comes in a salwar kameez, child knows his mother. Like that, Brahman is appearing all the disguises of the world. He doesn't come, he doesn't appear directly. He appears as the world. The world is a manifestation of Ishvara, Bhagavan. Okay, that's why Bhagavad, that's why Vishnu Sahasranama starts with Vishwam. The whole universe is Brahman, Vishnu. So we start looking at Vishnu somewhere. What you see with your naked eyes is Vishnu. Okay, Vishnu in disguise, in the form of name and form. Are you clear? So we should learn how to find out Vishnu behind name and form. That's all. So similarly, when I wake up, the body is appearing. Okay, the self or Atman is disguised as the body. So when you meet somebody, you are actually meeting Atman, disguised as body. There's no other. When you come animals you meet, you are meeting God, disguised as God. All living forms are nothing but manifestation or appearance of that consciousness. Appearance. Don't be fooled by appearance. Okay. What is reality is Atman or Brahman behind the appearance. That's why when we do namaskara, we'll do namaskara like this. Namaha te namaste. Namaha te namaste. Namaha te. Namaha means I am not. Okay. And in me who is there, and in you who is there, te, you, is one. It's not the body. It is the consciousness which is hiding in the form of body. Consciousness hiding in the form of body. Then we'll remove the body and find consciousness? No. Consciousness is all pervading. Every inch of the body is pervaded. I cannot see consciousness. Every inch of the space and earth is pervaded by consciousness. I cannot see consciousness. I can see only form. Behind the form, behind every form, that consciousness is there. In all the forms, what I see as matter, the consciousness is hidden as existence, astitva. The existence cannot change. The matter, the banana, the table appears is actually we say table exists. Table exists is a wrong usage of English. Existence appears as table is the correct usage. Existence appears as a flower is the correct usage. Okay. So we give wrong. Our language confuses us. Existence appears as flower. Existence appears as dog. Existence appears as human being. Is there a difference? Necklace, you say. Okay. Necklace, you say. But when you say gold necklace, it makes difference. It can be silver, it can be brass. So you're recognizing the substance of that necklace. That's why everything is existence appearing as form. Existence is formless. Okay. So when you wake up, the first thing when you wake up, there's a sense of awareness. Okay. I am, presence is felt. Okay. There's no thought. Just you are aware, self-aware. Okay. Then the body appears. Then I am the body comes into picture. Right? This is how the sequence is. There is a non-verbal I am presence in us, non-verbal, not a word, not a thought. That is manifesting as self-awareness first. Self-awareness, not the awareness of other. Then the awareness of other comes into picture, and there's an association with the other. Right? So this process, what we call as the consciousness or awareness, manifests as consciousness in the objects. Consciousness. I use the word awareness and consciousness interchangeably. Pure awareness, pure consciousness is awareness. There's no object. The consciousness is called Chidabhasa. Our body has consciousness. Right? There's a consciousness in the body. Okay. But consciousness doesn't belong to the body. Consciousness doesn't belong to the body. Consciousness is independent reality. Sun shines in lake. In lake also we see sunshine, a reflection of sun. Reflection doesn't belong to the lake. You see your face in the mirror. The reflection doesn't belong to the mirror. Reflection belongs to your face. Right? So body is enlivened by conscious presence. That enlivenment is called Chidabhasa or reflected consciousness. It's also manifest consciousness. I speak of Brahman as pure awareness, which is nothing but pure consciousness, which is nothing but pure existence, manifests as Chidabhasa, reflected consciousness, just like sun reflects in lake. Very clear? Reflection doesn't belong to the lake. Reflection belongs to the sun. Right? But there is some characteristic of reflection. The reflection shakes when the water shakes. Similarly, Chidabhasa appears to be undergoing changes when your thought changes. Okay? Are you clear? Chidabhasa, in essence, is an object consciousness. I become conscious of other objects through body and the world. Whereas awareness is a pure consciousness, pure awareness is the light. The example I can give, sun is there, all throughout everywhere, and there's a dark room. So I use the mirror to shine the light in the room to see what is there in the room. I have a reflected light which I am using to find out, oh, there's a table there, there's a chair there. Mirror is used as a reflector to find out what is there. The mirror is the mind. And what I see, the dark room, is nothing but the world. I see objects in the world through the reflection. Whereas sun shines all time, everywhere. So the object consciousness is called Chidabhasa. Thoughts appear in object consciousness. Okay? Object. Are we clear? Whereas awareness is pure light. It's the light of the self. Atma Jyoti. It doesn't undergo changes. Chidabhasa undergoes changes because reflection appears to be undergoing changes with respect to wave in the water. Is the distinction clear? Okay. So the Chidabhasa has an object knowledge, it has no subject knowledge. The reflection in the mirror doesn't know sun, I am coming from the sun. When you say I, you are always referring to Chidabhasa. Okay. So, I eat banana. When you say, any action requires a subject and an object. Any action requires a subject and object. Right? I am seeing a flower. I am and flower. That's a two thought. That's subject and object. Right? Without subject, there's no action possible, experience possible. Clear? What you don't recognize is that subject and object are two thoughts appearing in Chidabhasa. When I see flower, it's called idam, this, and I am seeing flower, aham. Two thoughts appear, aham vritti and idam vritti. Understand? The subject and object appear together. Thoughts together means they appear.
So the subject is also in an object.
Subject is an object, my dear. You got it. You have cracked the exam. Whatever you call a subject is nothing but an object. It is thought. Right? And both are appearing in Chidabhasa because Chidabhasa can only eliminate thoughts. Okay? Now, whatever you call a subject is nothing but an object. So, all your suffering, all your joys and pains belong to an object, not to the subject. A real subject is merely
There is no subject.
pure awareness. Who is watching?
Not a subject.
No. Pure is not an individual subject. It's a universal subject. It's light. It's a knowing principle. That's why it's the subject. It's the real subject.
Okay, so the pseudo subject is suffering.
Then why are you crying?
So who is then? Why is Chidabhasa? So in Chidabhasa things are coming up and going down.
Yeah.
So you are saying Chidabhasa is shaking along with the objects.
Right.
How
Okay.
can
So you go next step.
logically?
Next step will change. Chidabhasa is shaking. No. Reflection shakes. Reflection of sun in the mirror, ocean, it will shake. So when thoughts come, Chidabhasa eliminates thought has come. It appears to be,
It illuminates the thoughts.
it is also undergoing change with the thought now. Appear to be changing because it's so closely linked. Reflection and reflecting surface, they are not separable.
It's personally important.
There is no person. That's the whole problem.
I can understand its problem.
So is this much clear? So the I thought and this thought, aham vritti and idam vritti, the subject and object, both are thoughts appearing in Chidabhasa. You cannot separate Chidabhasa from the thought because reflecting surface and reflection you cannot separate out. And Chidabhasa lives with the illusion that I am suffering without knowing its true nature as a pure awareness. A reflection of sun in the water doesn't know the sun. It thinks I am water. Okay? Understand? So actually Chidabhasa is just a reflection. Chidabhasa cannot exist without the original, which is sun, which is pure consciousness. Okay? But this guy doesn't know. He's only thinking, he's only experiencing the water. Okay? He doesn't know his true nature, which is actually pure awareness, what is called Sakshi, or the witness. Sakshi never undergoes any change. The pure awareness never undergoes any change. Okay. Pure awareness is like a light, that light of itself. You keep a light is kept on the stage. The actors come, perform the drama, and go. When the actors come, the light shines on them. When they go, the drama, the appearance of the actor is shown. This reflection on the actor is called Chidavasa. Okay, I'll illustrate Chidavasa further. Is it clear so much so far? It's clear or still not clear? Okay. If you ask questions only, I know where I am not giving clarity, whether I myself are not clear. That's also possible. Okay, let us go to
Why
next
are
step.
we introducing Sakshi witness, the new term?
I'll tell you. We'll tell you. Next step. First, understand Chidavasa properly. Okay. So, can you see light? Is there light here? Is there light here?
Yes.
You cannot see light. You will never be able to see light. Eyes cannot see the light.
Sunlight?
So if you see the sun, you'll light. See, there's light. Okay. In front of me, there's light. You'll never be able to see light. Okay. Unless there's an obstruction. Okay. For example, now there's a reflection on my hand. Then you see, oh, there's light. But the reflection you forget and you call this as hand. Right? Really, you're seeing the reflection of light on my hand. Without my hand obstructing the light, you'll not know whether the light is there or not. Okay. So there's light all around. I'm not able to see the light unless there's an obstructing surface. Clear? The consciousness or awareness is all around. I cannot see it without obstruction. So there's a reflection of light on my hand. Then you see, oh, there is hand. You forgot light itself altogether. Right? Similarly, the consciousness, awareness, Brahman is all pervading reality. Everywhere is there. There's not a place where it's not there. It's present as existence, consciousness. But its presence can be felt only when there's an obstruction. So the consciousness gets reflected in the mind. The mind becomes alive. That's called Chidavasa. The reflection of consciousness is felt in the mind. Reflection. Okay. So the reflection of mind is felt in the body. The secondary reflection. The body appears to be alive. And in this reflection, we have thoughts of the world and the self. So we start living the reflection as the reality while forgetting the original. Because the consciousness has the ability, consciousness gives the aliveness to the reflection. In the reflection, objects can be seen. So one object called eye is seen, and another object called table is seen. One object called eye is seen, another object called flower is seen. So you miss the subject, which is awareness, which has fallen, and start living as object. So you see my hand. Okay, really you're not seeing my hand. Really you're seeing reflection of light on my hand. So what you are seeing is a reflection of consciousness in the mind and the body. You forget the reflection and focus on the object. And that object you start thinking is me. Okay. When you start thinking body as me, everything happening to the body is for me only. I'm becoming old, I'm becoming sick, I'm unhealthy, I'm happy, or I am fat, I'm slim, I'm beautiful, I'm handsome, I'm powerful. All body, you associate the I thought with an object. with the body, which is another object. Two objects will not make a subject, but two objects will make a subject called me. Okay. So then what happens? You associate with reflection with the mind. Mind of thoughts happen. I am so happy. I am so sad. Okay. I am suffering.
The I thought plus the thought of other objects is mind.
Yes. The mind is a thought. Mind is nothing but thought.
That's what.
Yeah. In the mind, there are two types of thoughts.
Always the subject.
Subject and object.
Hmm.
See, the mind is nothing but intellect, no? Intellect sees something, okay, a flower. It has to create logically, somebody is seeing, logically. Intellect is based on logic only.
Mm-hmm.
So for logically to complete, oh, somebody is seeing, I am seeing, I thought it generates. It generates I thought. To logically complete the transaction. It's a computer, no? What to do? Computer cannot work without logic. Seeing without seer is not possible for it. So it says, it generates I thought. And I thought is illuminated by Chidabhasa. Now what happens? You start thinking as I thought is subject, which is me, and body thought, which is object, as me, because both are reflections, and the world is separate from me. It's also another reflection. So you divide the experience of the reflection into a subject and object, and then suffer. Is this clear?
So just like we can't see sunlight, and unless there is an obstruction, you can't see that there is light. Similarly, every object becomes a obstruction.
Yes. So you can see God every time you see any object. You don't have to close your eyes. That's the whole point. Every object, if you see, is a reflection of the self. You remember you are the light of the self, Atma Jyoti. As simple as that. You are a light in which the objects are shining. So are you focusing the object or the shining light? You are that light. The world is a reflection of you. The body is a reflection of you. The mind is a reflection of you. The I thought is a reflection of you. Ego doesn't become a block. Ego becomes a pointer to your nature. You don't have to get rid of ego. You have to use the ego. That's why Ramana Maharshi never said get rid of ego. He said find out where the ego is coming from. So many of the spiritual teachings you start saying get rid of the ego. You cannot get rid of the ego because logically intellect cannot work out without ego. Intellect is a pure computer. For a computer, seeing something without a seeing thought is not possible. It generates a thought. Now you try to get rid of thought, and another thought is generated. I am getting rid of thought. Like that will be. It's a perpetual problem. Many of the religious teachings get rid of the ego. It doesn't work because to get rid of the ego, you need ego. You have to find out where is the source of the ego. The ego is nothing but a thought in the reflected light called Chidabhasa. So if you start understanding this Chidabhasa and the original light, which is Atma Jyoti, light of the self, you see whatever you see in the world becomes a pointer to your real nature because it's a reflection. The reflection of sun is in the water, stone, or mirror. In the mirror, it's pure reflection. With the stone and water, it's less reflection. Liminally, world has a less reflection. The body has more reflection. The mind has a pure reflection. So everything, the world shines in your light, the light of awareness, light of the self, Atma Jyoti. And you are that light. So you'll not get confused by the reflection. You get actually, every time you see the reflection, you become a pointer to your nature. So spiritual sadhana, now no, not necessarily with the closed eyes. With open eyes, you start recognizing the presence of the divine light. The divine light is called Atma Jyoti, or light of the self, which is called awareness. Right? So that's what is there. Our only problem is we start confusing that I thought, which is object, as a subject. That is the confusion. Right? I thought is pointing to the real subject, which is awareness. Can awareness be found without a reflection? No. The light cannot be found without an obstruction. The self cannot be found without an obstruction. So that's why mind is not a block for you. Body is not a block for you. World is not a block for you. World is all are pointing to your own self. Then why did the spiritual teaching say world is a Maya, world is a block? Yes, it is a block and Maya. When you think it is real, forget the reality. When you understand this reality of Atma Jyoti or the light of self, the world just becomes a pointer to your true nature. That's exactly what Ramana Maharshi said. Inquire, who am I? Where did the I thought come from? I thought came in the Chidabhasa, reflected consciousness. So if your attention is on thought, you are in Maya. If your attention is on the light, you are free. Very clear? Any questions? Ask questions now, then only I'll get a clarity.
So consciousness needs a form.
Consciousness doesn't need a form. Mirror. Yeah, the consciousness doesn't need it.
So how will I see myself? Only if there is something called a mirror, I can see myself.
That's right.
And that
For
is
Satya,
the surface.
for Satya, that reality, Mithya is the mirror. Okay. Without the Mithya, Satya cannot be found.
So we are thinking of removing all the objects which are abstractions. In fact, abstractions are the ones which help us to realize.
That's right. That's beauty.
How is I thought a pointer? I am not clear on that.
What is I thought? Okay, let's come to that. Say, okay, for your this thing, there is two types of games. Okay, one is called karate, and other is called jiu-jitsu. You have heard of these two? Judo and karate. Jiu-jitsu and karate. Okay. Karate uses the force to hit the opponent. Jiu-jitsu doesn't use the force at all. Jiu-jitsu uses the opponent's strength. So if an opponent is very strong, the person who is jiu-jitsu, player jiu-jitsu, is very weak, he uses the opponent's strength to make him fall. Okay? It's like a big, hefty opponent comes. A karate fellow will give him hit, hard hit. It requires a lot of force, strength. A jiu-jitsu fellow allows the opponent to come and hit him. And last minute he moves a little backwards and just pushes him. He will fall by his own force. Understand? So, most of the spiritual teachings are like karate. You are fighting with the world. Ramana Maharshi's teaching is like jiu-jitsu. Use the word to come back. Why am I? Just, you don't, nothing in the world should fool you. Use the force of the world, which is Maya, to find out your nature. Whereas many of the spiritual teachings are trying to fight the Maya. Ramana Maharshi uses the Maya. Just find out who am I. I thought came, now find out where it's come from. It's like jiu-jitsu. Okay. Have you heard the story of Sri Krishna? Sri Krishna was a very young kid, small kid, must be 8 years or 9 years. He was called to the Asthana of Kamsa. Okay. Kamsa's palace. Okay. For coming to the Kamsa palace, there were two fighters, Chanura. What is that? Who is in Chanura? And this name is Chanura. They are actually the champions of Mallayuddha. They were the champions of the kingdom. So there were two people. I forgot the other guy's name, Chanura and somebody else. Okay. So they were waiting for Krishna. They said, first fight with us. Krishna is a small kid. Mushtika and Chanura. Mushtika is very powerful with punches. Okay, if you hit somebody, they will die. And these two people were the champions in this guy's Asthana, that kingdom. Okay, so they were given a responsibility to kill Krishna before they come to the palace. So when Krishna starts coming, a very kid, 7-8-year-old kid, they challenge him to fight with us and then can go to the palace. Okay, the story is Sri Krishna killed both of them. Okay, so I mean, because Sri Krishna is Paramatma, Vishnu's avatar, we put a lot of powers to him. He's so powerful, he has some magical power. He has simple power. He didn't fight with them. He never fought with them. He used their strength to make them fall. They came with the force. Krishna observed very carefully and a little bit moved backwards and pushed them. Whereas they were accustomed to somebody opponents fighting with them. Okay? Krishna never used the force with them. He allowed them to hit, and at last moment he observes very carefully and moves a little bit backward and uses their force to make them fall. They never understood this warfare. They only understood the power game. This game is very different. Ramana Maharshi's teaching is very different. We start thinking, oh, what is the other teachings and all. We see actually people think spiritual teaching means I have to do this, I have to do that, I have to do that, I have to do that. Ramana Maharshi's teaching, so all those their power, you just use it. Maya is very powerful. Just use it to find out who has well. You don't fight Maya. Why you are fighting Maya? That's what who am I teaching? Don't fight with your thoughts. Your thoughts are very useful. The mithya is always pointing to Satya. The reflection is always pointing to the original. Anytime when you see the world, you are actually remembering God, which is pure consciousness, awareness, light of the self. So simple. So what happened? Our mind has got cluttered with all spiritual teachings, religious teachings. I have to do this, I have to do this, I have to do this. Okay, this had to become our whole point is focused on the Maya. This is like fighting Chanura and Mushtikasura with another powerful champion. You are not that powerful champion. You don't have to be. You have to be like Krishna. Just allow that force to take you, guide you to the self. Force of Maya is always there to take you to the self. That's why the Maya is there. Mithya is there only to point you to Satya. Reality. What is Satya? Light of the self, Atma Jyoti. Mithya is the reflected light. Maya is appearing the reflected light. So when you see the name and form, you are actually getting trapped in the Maya. The moment you see the reflection of name and form in the Maya, you are back to the original light of the self. So simple. Any complications? So what happens? We get confused with a lot of traditional teachings. Traditional teachings, okay, you have to develop this 10 qualities. Oh, after that, how many years I will take this 10 qualities, and then I will become strong enough to do Atma Vichara self-inquiry. It gives a stress for you. Ramana Maharshi is like a jujutsu. He uses just the force of Maya. Who am I? That's all. Go back to self. So simple, so natural. But our mind is so complicated. No, we are only seeing that the WWE fighting, right? Big guys fighting with each other. You want this spirituality can be converted into a big fight, war between Maya and reality. No, there's no fight between Maya and reality. Maya is pointing to reality. Maya is no fight. Are you clear? We are struggling with the shadow. Maya is a shadow. Shadow you cannot fight and win. That's why many of the spiritual seekers are so tired. They keep on fighting with the shadow. You will never be able to fight with Chanura and Mushtikasura and win them. They are all, in the sense, they are allegorical stories. Okay, one level they are Chanura and Mushtikasura, they are two powerful demons. At that level, Bhagavatam is telling, so don't fight. Okay, use their force like Krishna, because you are the Krishna consciousness. And the Maya will collapse into I thought. I thought collapse into consciousness. So entire world is nothing but thoughts. And the thoughts are dependent on I thought. Idam vritti, aham vritti. Aham vritti you follow and you get to the pure consciousness. Pure. Finished. Very, very simple.
No, Guruji, I thought...
This is close. We'll ask the next question. Okay.
So I thought is actually the subject, right?
I thought is a pseudo subject.
So how can staying as a subject, how can that be, become a pointer to the real subject?
I thought is a thought. Now thought appears and disappears, but you have.
But that's my subject,
Okay.
right?
Yeah. I'll question. I'll put right. Start. I'll tell you.
You are finally asked the I thought to go and find the.
No, I thought cannot find anything. I thought is a inert, jada. I am asking you, Chidabhasa, to find your nature. Is consciousness.
Chidabhasa plus intellect.
I'll tell you. So your question is asking the I thought to find out who am I? No, I thought is inert. I thought is matter. It's an appearance in consciousness. It is a pseudo subject.
Yeah.
Okay. Pseudo subject cannot find the real subject. I. Who has to find the real subject is the Chidabhasa, consciousness. Okay. Chidabhasa has to use the intellect, buddhi. Chidabhasa's instrument is buddhi, intellect. Okay. Instead of intellect being the servant of Chidabhasa or consciousness, it has become the subject. It has become the servant of ego. I thought has started associating, gathering other thoughts. I am so and so. I am so and so. It's all are part of the mind. So intellect, a purified intellect with the Chidabhasa is able to discriminate. Who am I? Chidabhasa requires an instrument. Instrument is intellect. Okay. So can intellect find Atma? Can intellect find the self? Intellect is also an object. Okay. An object cannot find the self. Self has to recognize itself. Self is the knowing principle. Intellect cannot know the self. A bulb cannot know electricity. Right? So intellect is used very effectively by Chidabhasa to discard whatever is name and form. I thought is also a name and form. Me thought is also a name and form. Is used for discarding. It's called neti, neti, neti. Not this, not this. Intellect is good in discarding. Okay? Use the intellect to discard what you are not. Then don't have to use intellect to find out who you are. You recognize yourself. You are becoming self-aware. Right?
So the reflection has to understand for what it is a reflection.
Reflection has to understand.
What it is.
The reflection has to understand that I am the consciousness. Okay. How does it understand? We'll tell now. So it is not the I thought who is finding the Atma. Trace the source of the I thought. Who can trace the source of I thought? I thought is an object. Who can trace the source of I thought? Only consciousness.
The one who creates the I thought?
I thought is not created actually. I thought appears in the intellect. Okay. So, but I thought gathers other thoughts. Me thought, body thought. All the identities are gathered. So now intellect becomes sharp enough. And the ego says, oh, this is me. Intellect will question, are you? Because it is now sharpened to the teaching. So it will not accept anything what ego says as me. What is real me? Intellect cannot understand. Because real me is consciousness. But finally, when you say, I am Brahman is also a thought. Aham Brahmasmi is a thought. So there Aham refers to the real consciousness. I am Brahman. I am Shiva. I am pure consciousness is also a thought. Okay. That thought is used for chasing away all other wrong thoughts. What is the wrong thought? I am the body, I am the mind, I am suffering. All wrong thoughts are suffered with, are cut with the right thought. Where it appeared, the right thought appeared in the intellect. Right? Understand? Right thought appeared in the intellect because of the teaching of Vedanta. See, it's not easy to convince the intellect. Okay? Intellect says every time questions. Intellect questions actually. If I say you are Brahman, you are pure conscious, you will not accept it. You'll ask how. I am body, you'll say. So the Vedanta gives a very systematic teaching which actually convinces, that brings a clarity to intellect, I am consciousness. Are you getting what I'm saying? There will be no doubt because the teaching of Vedanta. The doubt-free thought called Aham Brahmasmi is called Brahmakara Vritti. You should get a firm conviction. Where the conviction comes? In the intellect. Are you clear? The conviction is not in the self because conviction is also a thought. Aham Brahmasmi, I am Brahman is also a thought. Okay. There that Aham refers to the pure consciousness. I am refers to pure I am. There's a pure I am, okay, which is invisible, which is the light of the self, Atma Jyoti, and there's a reflection of I am in your body called Chidabhasa. Chidabhasa and intellect are very closely associated with each other. Right? Chidabhasa seems to be going through whatever intellect is going through, whatever thoughts. Now, intellect, a very firm conviction arises. What is that? I am pure consciousness. How did they arise? Because of the clarity of the teaching by the master. The teaching is based on Vedanta teaching. That crystal clarity has to come in the intellect. Intellect asks for a proof. Right? If you tell it, that's job of the intellect to ask for a proof. What is that proof? So finally, the proof comes from the teaching of Vedanta. You trust in the Vedanta. That's the pramana. Then you trust in the teaching of master. The master's teaching has a value add in terms of he makes the truth very simple for you to digest. His value addition is simplicity. The truth is same, but how the truth is communicated to you makes a difference from master to master. Right? So then a firm clarity arises in you. Oh, I am Brahman. This clarity also in the intellect. Are you clear? Others will have always no, I am body, I am mind. Thought will be there. All your vasanas are coming up. Vasanas coming up from ego. So once that I am Brahman thought comes, then simple. To go back to drop the intellect also. Intellect is no more required. Its job is done. Now you become aware that intellect also is a thought. That I am Brahman is also thought. Okay. Then what remains is pure witness, which is nothing but Brahman. Pure consciousness. Is the process clear? Any doubts? Finally, the mind is shaky. Mind keeps on running after things because it is whatever identity is there, it will pick up. Ego. So I am a mother. Okay, what's happening to my daughter? What's happening to my children? That thoughts will come. Okay. Then no. I'm suffering. All my life I have suffered. Okay. All thoughts will come. Because your identity is picked up. The identity is picked up by ego. Now the intellect has become very firm and clear conviction. I am Brahman. My nature is not ego, not the body, not mind. Then awareness is my nature, is the conviction which arises in the intellect. This is the contribution of Vedanta and teaching. Okay. Then once that is there, so if I am awareness, what thoughts can come in you? You can thoughts only can related now. If I am a friend related thoughts come. I am mother related thoughts come. If I am awareness, Brahman, Kutastha, unchanging, pure, blissful, what thoughts can come to you? The mind becomes silent. Then the role of the intellect is over. You recognize I am Chidabhasa. No, it's not a thought. Now Chidabhasa has become one with the Sakshi. Sakshi is Brahman. Are you clear? So now there may be some thoughts may bother you. Oh, I'm seeing the world. Okay. So whatever you see is nothing but name and form. Nama Rupa. Name and form of what? Name and form of Brahman in the form of existence. Existence and awareness is same, which is myself. I am seeing the self in all. I am seeing the one in all, the one self in all self in one. When this happens, clarity emerges. The intellect will become very silent. With your eyes open, your mind is silent and serene. Whatever you see is nothing but that one reality called Brahman, pure consciousness, which is self. You see the self in all and all in self. It doesn't the eyes and ears don't undergo any changes. Your intellect has gone undergone changes. A clarity has emerged. That's why Gnana Drashti, the eyes of wisdom only can show you God, not the Charma Drashti, not the sense organs. You see a snake on the rope, okay? You are afraid. Then you recognize this rope there, not the snake. Now, sense organs are still showing the snake because dim light. But with the Gnana Chakshu, you say, oh, there's a rope there. You never tell anybody, oh, there's a snake there. Charma Chakshu, or sense organs made out of the matter, they cannot show you the truth. They can show you only name and form. But Gnana Chakshu, as it becomes sharpened, you recognize that Brahman presence everywhere. You recognize I am the light of self, illuminating this existence. Existence and awareness is same, and I am that infinite awareness. This I am refers to not the thought, ego thought. I am is point, ego thought is pointing to the real I am, which is invisible, which you are. Right? When you say I am Brahman, it doesn't mean that I know Brahman. I am Brahman. That wherever that I thought is pointing, that is Brahman. That is the reality. The pure I am, the pure existence, the pure consciousness is Brahman. In that sense, there are no individuals. Yesterday I posted one message from Brahma Maharshi. Did you see that? He said, a radio station gives the news. A radio station speaks. Okay? Right? Radio station gives the news. Radio station speaks. But there's nobody inside the radio station. My dear, there's nobody inside this body-mind complex other than God, pure consciousness. The body appears to be talking, our body appears to be walking. But God alone is there, inside and outside. And what you call as yourself is the radio, this body-mind complex is mistaking. The I thought is mistaking, the object is mistaken as subject. The only subject who is there is God, pure conscious, Brahman, which is myself, which is pointed by I am, the real I am. Any questions?
That part is always clear, Prabhuji.
What part is clear?
I am pure awareness.
Pure awareness is very clear. Then what is not clear?
Struggle with mind and
Intellect,
intellect.
intellect
Yeah.
keeps on gathering this knowledge.
Huh.
So why is it that there is a chance that we go back also? I mean, we should only go forward.
Who is we?
I mean, the intellect is
Who is
acting
we?
along with
Who is we?
Chidabhasa.
I mean, she's included in you? We? Who is we?
Chidabhasa,
Ah.
along with intellect.
Ah.
Intellect is learning, or it is gaining knowledge from masters or from Guru. So why is it that we are not going?
Tell me, who is that we?
Chidabhasa.
Who is that we?
I.
Who is that I?
Chidabhasa.
Who is that I? So we means you must be some multiple people, wholesale, right? So you say I. Who is that I?
Chidabhasa, it has to, the whole process is to realize that.
Now, who is that I? You tell me.
Chidabhasa.
I is not Chidavasa. I is a thought in Chidavasa. Thought appears and disappears. What is there when the thought appears and what disappears is real life. That's why you always speak of. You only came from Hyderabad now. Right? You came from Hyderabad? And you are going back to Madurai? Who came from Hyderabad who goes back to Madurai? The body and mind has changed. It is constantly changing. What is unchanging is awareness, reality which is behind that. When you are speaking, always you are speaking of reality. When you are confusing, always you are confusing the changing. So who is going back? Where?
The understanding.
Nobody is going back.
Nobody is going back. That's the point. No, I'm going back is a thought.
Only the body is going back.
Body is also not going back. The body
Body
which came also is different.
Yeah.
The body is constantly changing. It's a changing name and form. So we are confusing what is changing name and form with the reality. All that you have to be clear is what is changing, what is not changing, what is real, what is unreal. Satya, Mithya, Nitya, Anitya. This Viveka you have, you never be confused. And this developing this Viveka is called Atmadna. And where is the Viveka developed? In intellect. Can intellect show the Atma? No. Can intellect be used for recognizing Atma? Yes. After that, the role of intellect is over. Intellect is also a thought, generated thought. A thought is used to discard all other thoughts. Finally, that thought is also discarded. Like thorn is used to remove a thorn. Finally, the thorn is gone. Like medicine is given to take a disease, and after that, medicine is also useless. Any questions? You're not recording this?
No, after the talk, you
Oh,
both were discussing, so I didn't.
okay, you can do that. So, what was your question? Yeah, your question was why I am not establishing in the truth. Okay. See what happens in our life. We are exposed to the world all the time. Okay, continuously, because we have to make it, the body mind complex has to live. That's the job. And every time when you are exposed to the world is pointing to you who you are, giving you, pointing to you. You are reminded every moment you are a woman. Okay, every time when man looks at you, remember that you're a woman. Every time some daughter interacts, you become a mother. So your identities pop up every minute. Right? Yes or no? And Atmadana, how much you are exposed? For 5 minutes a day? Half an hour a day. Medicine is for half an hour and disease is for 24 hours. Okay, you are getting infected every minute with I thought. Right? So there are 3 dimensions of you. Who you really are, what world thinks of you, and what you think of yourself. You think of yourself, world thinks of you, and who you really are. Who you really are is not a thought. It's awareness. It's Chidabhasa, which is nothing but Sakshi, reality. Okay? Guru is actually pointing out you are not who think you are, not world what you think are. So you get exposed to the Guru's teaching for half an hour. Okay? Then you go back. Suddenly the world starts telling you are a woman, you are a mother, you are a wife, or you are an officer, you are an employee. So your intellect is again now has to do. So you have to get this in what is it? What do you call medicine until the disease is cured. Okay, the infection is very strong. The infection called I thought is a very strong. I am somebody, so you think something, and the world thinks you are something. So though both will become your identities. This infection keeps on happening. Okay, till what point of time you have to take medicine? When you have fever, what point of time you have to take medicine? Until the fever goes fully. Right? In between, if you stop taking medicine, what will happen to you? Huh? The antibiotics are there, no? Nowadays, antibiotics are there, okay? The antibiotics, so if the doctor will prescribe a course of 5 days. If you take 3 days and 3 days and drop it, that the bacteria will become stronger actually. It will become, what you call, medicine resistant. That's called, they become immune, they develop strength. Similarly, Adnana has to be totally destroyed until all the time you are aware that I am pure awareness. That's why Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasa has to be continued until
It should be taken as a course, not SOS.
No, not SOS. Not emergency treatment. It is a course, okay, and Vedanta prescribes Ajiva Paryantam Shamana Manana Nididhyasa Ashtupan. Ajiva Paryantam means what? As long as you are alive as Jiva. Because at any point of time, infection can creep in. Until you are fully established, I am pure awareness, Brahman. Even after that, Gnani will teach others. Okay? So his wisdom becomes deeper and deeper. It will never go back, fall back. Understand? So we have to do this Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasa, listening, contemplation, and meditation. It is a continuous activity. It's not one time. It's not like a vaccination. You give one time and lifelong you'll be taken care. Okay? It is like a regular medicine, like diabetes medicine. You have to take every day. One day you don't take, sugar will increase. Until one day you get rid of diabetes finally. I don't know when. This Shravana Manana Nididhyasa is to be done Ajiva Paryanta. Get a firm clarity. Ignorance is fully destroyed. And once ignorance is destroyed, then what will happen? Then you will do more and more Nididhyasa. And then Swadhyaya Pravachana, self-awareness and teaching will happen. So that further reduces the vasanas, impressions. Very clear? Any questions? Why do you think I keep every day teaching? I don't want to get infected again. Every time I send a message on WhatsApp, it is not only reminder for my students, it's reminder for myself also. So I don't want to any single minute, I don't want to deviate my mind from the Atma, the self. Huh? That I'll tell you, right? We'll continue. Oh, it's already 11:15. Chidabas, I can't take today. Tomorrow. We'll spend some time in meditation.
ಕನ್ನಡ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಹಿಂದಿ.
ಕನ್ನಡ